Hi, my name is Nana and welcome to my channel, A Puzzling Lamb. Today I have a new review video for you and I'm going to review the German brand Wonderpieces. Now first I just want to mention that all the Wonderpieces puzzles I have 3, were all gifted to me by the brand, but it was actually me who reached out to them because I've just for a long time been really fascinated with the puzzles and them as a brand. And me making this YouTube video was never part of any deal or any expectations. But when I tried my first Wonderpieces puzzle, I loved it so much. I just knew I had to show you, I had to make this video about them. Now, Wonderpieces, as the name suggests, is a brand that primarily sells jigsaw puzzles. And they have some beautiful and some fun images. And a lot of them, as you will see from my small collection, also has a message to them, which I love. Now, they do also sell a few other things than puzzles. So they sell, for example, books with titles such as, and this is Google translated from Germany, so it might not be 100% correct, but with titles such as How Do I Explain Racism to Children?, Racism-Sensitive Support and Empowerment from an Early Age, and the book Girl, Boy, Child, Gender-Sensitive Support and Empowerment from an Early Age. And they also sell calendars that marks days, among other things and normal things a calendar will show you. It also marks days such as the European Diversity Month, Lesbian Visibility Day, Pride Disability Month, and International Day of the World's Indigenous People, and so much more. So there is, as you can hear, a lot of reasons to love this brand. Another reason I really gravitated towards this brand is that they have a high focus on the artists. So when you look at the puzzles online, they write who the artist is right next to the name of the puzzle. And they also on their side have a page which lists the artists they use and some information about them and links to their Instagram and or websites. So I really love this big focus on artists, and it's just what we need in these times. But for now, enough about the brand. Let me show you my small collection of Wonderpieces puzzles. So the first one I have is the puzzle I have done before. I did this almost immediately when I got these puzzles. I couldn't wait. So it's this one, Everybody Has a Body. And it's just so colorful, so much fun, filled with details. Actually, I think the text around here in the edge was probably the most difficult, but overall it wasn't as difficult as I thought it would be because it is a very busy image. But even though there are green colors all around, they are different shades of green. The same with some of the oranges, and yeah, just in general, a beautiful and a fun image. And as you can see, this is an example of one of the puzzles that has a message. So the text here around the edge says, everybody has a body and that's okay. And then it's just filled with these really cute examples of, yeah, just a lot of body diversity. Love this puzzle. The next one here, I haven't done yet, Staring into the Void. And this, I think, is just some beautiful colors. I'm really looking forward to putting this one together. I mean, it's just these nuances of orange and pink and contrasted with this beautiful black hair, and really love this. Expecting this to be quite difficult, but I don't know, perhaps I can see there are some color differences in the background here, and of course I can probably pretty easy put together the table and the glass and her face, and yeah, love this one. So this is an example of an image that is just from them that is just so beautiful. And then the last one, which is the one I'm doing in this video, what I really, really want. So as you can see, very different from the others. This has this comic book type image with, again, really colorful, really has a lot of humor to it, but still has a message, it has some deeper meaning. So yeah, this is the puzzle I'm doing in this video. So let's just jump right into the review. I really enjoy the overall design of these boxes. They just feel very, what do you call that in English? Like boutique, exclusive, really luxurious. You can really tell that it's from a small brand, but one that really cares about quality and aesthetics. Yeah, overall, really happy with it. So first, the size is a nice size for a 1,000-piece puzzle. You can see it does have like quite a thick box, but yeah, I'm definitely not mad at the size. I really do enjoy it. Now, as you can see, the box is actually just a completely plain box, and then it has a sleeve on it here with all the information about this specific puzzle. And I really do like this design. On the front, you have the entire image here without anything covering it up. It's not super big, this image, but I know there is a poster inside, so I really don't mind. You have the logo down here, the number of pieces, the name of the puzzle, what I really, really want. And then here on the front of the box, you have the illustrator, Sandra Breyer, probably pronounced incorrectly. I really like that they have such a big focus on their artists that it's even here on the front. And then as you can see here on the side again, number of pieces, logo, and once again, the name of the illustrator. Then on the back here, first you can see the sleeve have gotten a bit dirty, but I did take a look at my other Wonderpieces puzzles, and they do not look like this. So I don't think it's because it's necessarily easily gets dirty. I must just have put this puzzle somewhere I shouldn't have. Anyway, again, you have the logo, you have some, standard company information. And then you have here Wonderpieces Instagram and the artist's Instagram. And I am a huge fan of that because I love to find the artist on Instagram so I can see their other work, perhaps follow them. But it can sometimes actually, when you only have the illustrator's name, be quite difficult to find them because, as you can see, her Instagram is ooh yeah. So just by searching on the illustrator's name, it can sometimes be difficult to find their Instagram. So I really love when companies do this. It really makes it easy for me to see what other work the artists have made. Then on the other side here, again, even more information. Once again, the company, the logo. It says it's made in Germany, environmentally friendly packaging, whatever that means. You have the size of the puzzle, so it's 68 times 48 centimeters, pretty standard for a 1,000-piece puzzle. It says, give your packaging a second life, so I think that just encourages us to recycle it if we need to, get rid of the packaging at some point. And then it says that there is a fabric bag made of certified fair trade organic cotton. So love to see that. And then it says it's from ages 10 to 110. But let's remove this sleeve so we can take a look at what's inside. And it is really easy to remove, and it's also pretty easy to get back on again. That could be a problem, but it's not. Then, of course, you can see here how the box itself is just a completely clean. There's nothing on it. And I really think this is clever because my guess is this means that compared to if all of this information with this specific puzzle was printed on the box, they could probably risk overproducing boxes for that puzzle. They don't risk that now since it's just the same box for all of the puzzles, all of the images. Honestly, I don't know if that's how it works, but that's just the sense I get, that it's a really smart choice, and I do like it aesthetically also. And the box is really, really, really sturdy. One of the most sturdy boxes I've ever seen. Then you can see we have the pieces in this fabric bag. Just, again, completely clean. There's nothing printed on it. And then you can see here we have this nice poster. It is a little bit bigger than the one on the front of the box here. But what I really like about it is that it's really great quality, this. So this would also be perfect to frame if it were an image you wanted to have on your wall, but it's too much to have a puzzle, a 1,000-piece puzzle framed on your wall. This is perfect. Now, for some images, I could see that this perhaps is a little bit small, that it would be nice with something bigger. But for me personally, honestly, you know how I feel about too big posters. I would rather have them slightly too small than too big. And with this image, and even with the one I have done, Everybody Has a Body. That's what it's called, right? Yeah, that was a really detailed image, but it was still perfectly fine with this size poster. On the back here, you have some information about the artist, both in German and in English. You can pause here if you want to read. And once again, with their Instagram there. And then there's also a playlist. So it says, listen to the puzzle playlists from our illustrators on Spotify. So I think the illustrators that they use have curated a playlist on Spotify. So that's really fun. I see more and more brands do that. I don't really use it. I normally have a podcast or a series I've watched a million times going on in the background when I do puzzles, but I really do like this idea. So let's take a look at the pieces, and let me just put them in the box here. Check that I got them all. Yes. Okay. So first thing I see, and I think I also had that with the other one I did. So you can see there are some pieces that are still together, but I think, yeah, so you can see this is just stuck together right in the corner. So I think they're easy enough to take apart, but it's of course something I will be aware of and let you know if it's a bigger problem. But yeah, what I first see, of course, is that there's no paper backing. You know how I love it when there's no paper backing. The pieces are really, really thick and really, really sturdy. Let's see if you can see it. They're really sturdy, really lovely. The surface are not completely matte. They do have, I don't know if you can see it, but actually almost kind of a shimmer to them, but I wouldn't call them shiny, and they do feel really nice to touch. There are a bunch of different piece shapes, so I think probably all of the piece shape types are there. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know if you can see any 4-ins and 4-outs, but yeah, there are a lot of different piece shape types, and it also looks like the shapes within the piece shape types is very unique, and that all the innies and outies are unique. I don't recall false fits being a problem at all. I don't think I had a single false fit with the other puzzle I did. Now, the colors compared to the poster and the box, I think this is up here. I think it look like it matches. I think perhaps it matches what's on this sleeve a little bit more than what is on this small poster. It looks like the colors might actually be a little bit more saturated on the pieces than on the poster itself. But if there has to be a slight difference, I definitely want the colors on the pieces to be more saturated than on the poster. But again, it looks like it matches with what's on this sleeve here. So yeah, I don't know what more there is to say about these pieces. They really feel amazing. They really feel like great quality. Again, really sturdy pieces. The only thing is that there is perhaps some pieces that are still stuck together, but again, as I said, it seems like I can pull them apart easily. Yeah. And then of course you always get something like this where the pieces stick together the wrong way, but I mean, you get that with all puzzles, no matter the quality. Yeah. So, strategy. I don't think this is going to be a super difficult image. The only thing is that, since it is this comic book style, you do have a lot of things repeating. So for example, this beautiful purple monster is a lot of different places. It would perhaps be quite fun to sort out all of the text pieces and do all the text first. I will do the edge first, but then sort out all of the text pieces and do those first. Won't necessarily be the quickest way to do it, but perhaps it'll be quite fun. Yeah, I might do that, and then perhaps just sort according to the background. So you can see this window square, whatever you call it, here and here have that green background. You have two here that are pink. This one will probably be very easy to spot. Yeah, so perhaps just sort it into some of those according to the background. Yeah, see, I can really pull out a lot of text pieces here. I think that's what I'm going to do first. So the edges are also really easy to spot. The edges might actually not be the easiest thing to start with. So you can see, just grab this here, this like purpley dotted frame around here is on the pieces. So the edge might be a little bit difficult, but you know how I love to have the edge first, to put that together first, even though it might not be the easiest way to do it. But as I've said a lot of times, unless I'm actually speed puzzling, I don't really care about putting a puzzle together the fastest way possible. It's about how I feel about it, doing it in the most fun way. So yeah, I might, when I turn over all the pieces, not sort into anything other than the edges and the text pieces, and then wait to sort all of the colors. Anyway, now I'm just starting to ramble. I'm really looking forward to this. I love this image. It might be portrait mode, which I am, I do prefer a landscape mode, but as this is this comic book style, it really makes the most sense that it's in portrait mode. So I really don't mind it, and I'm really looking forward to putting this together. I just love this image. There's so much humor and a really important message that really, really speaks to me. So yeah, really looking forward to it. I'll come back to you once I'm probably about halfway. This image is so much fun to put together. The colors are amazing, they're bright, they're fun. I loved putting together all the text. So text can sometimes, I often find text to be really difficult, especially when, it's so big so you can't tell on each piece what letter it is. But this, it just had the perfect size, so I could really easily tell the letters apart, and for most of the pieces I could also tell which way was up and down. So it was really fun to put together all of the text. A fun detail I hadn't noticed before I started doing the puzzle is that this skyline here in the background of this image, it's not just a random made up skyline, it's actually the Berlin skyline. I really think that's a neat detail. Now, for quality, I really don't have anything bad to say. The pieces are really lovely, sturdy. There's, it feels really nice to put in a piece. I haven't had a single false fit. There's a really big variation in the piece shape. So even in these few sections that there are where there are solid colored or almost solid colored pieces, I could really use the piece shapes as a help, so it was still really easy in those sections. And for the fit, I really think it's a perfect fit. So it's not the tightest fit ever, but as you can see, the pieces do hold together really nicely. So it really is a nice balance of it being easy to move sections around, but I also think it's going to be really easy to take apart and really quick to take apart without worrying about damaging the pieces. So yeah, really lovely quality. And then puzzle dust. I almost always forget to mention puzzle dust because, it's one of those things where unless there are like a huge amount like there are in Ravensburger, for example, I really don't mind puzzle dust. But you can see here what was left in the box when I'd finished sorting, and I would say that this is normal to a small amount of puzzle dust. Really nothing that bothered me. And then I just accidentally dropped some here. So yeah, really loving this image. And oh yeah, I was also, so I started with the edge as you saw, and I were a little bit worried about that being difficult because, there's not a whole lot of details on it. It's mostly this purple and this white line, but as you can see, there are still some details here that made it really doable. So there were only very few pieces with no details on them. So yeah, really had no real issues with the edge. So overall, I'm just having so much fun. It's going really quickly. Once again, I'm not timing myself. I gave up on that a long time ago, but it feels like it's going really quick. So, oh yeah, also really want to talk about the poster. So, as you can see, it is on the smaller side, but I'm actually a really big fan of this poster because it's, so easy to just move around, have next to the section that I'm working on. And also because it's this great quality, it's not floppy, so it's just really easy to have in my hand and sit with if I need to look at things a bit closer, more close up. But yeah, I'm actually really enjoying this size poster and this quality poster. So for my strategy next, as you can see, I have put together the more distinct backgrounds. So the most difficult part was probably this window and this window because, they are kind of the same scene with the same colors, but still really easy. The first thing I put together, right, was this section here because this dark blue was really obvious. And then this beautiful creature in It's all over the image, as you can see, but this one is darker, so it was really easy to spot. So what I have left now, I have a slight pile here with pieces I sorted out for that green background, but I think most of it is actually the creature. So you can see that it also has some green on it. And then I have this box here, this box of pieces. So as you can see, it's mostly yellow and purple. So, you know, mostly these, the yellow in the background here, and the background here, and then the purple of the creatures, and obviously that whole window up there. So I don't really know what to do from here. I think I'm not going to sort it in the yellow and the purple because it's just really big sections. So perhaps I'm going to try and just go over and look at more of the, what do you call it, foreground of the images. So when I sorted these, I really looked at the background, but then actually find everything to fill all this in and find her. Yeah, and I also think that some of all of this, like star shapes in the background, I can perhaps find. Now that I'm looking at it, there's also orange. So the orange is, I think, this part. But yeah, then there's also some orange with his clothes. So yeah, I just really think I'm going to perhaps not even sort as much as just, you know, rummage through the box and then spot the pieces that I think are really easy to spot in the image. So yeah, even though I think I'm about to start on the more difficult stuff, the purple creature that is all over the place, I still think it's going to go relatively quick and be pretty easy. I had so much fun putting this puzzle together. This is definitely right at the top of my favorite images I've put together this year so far. It was just so colorful, so much fun, really easy. Loved the addition of all this text. It was really fun to puzzle. The most difficult part of it was definitely these 3 windows here with the creature on it, because they're both yellow here and yellow around here, and there was just most of the image, the window, whatever you call it, is this creature. So that was definitely the most difficult, but it was still really easy and so much fun. Yeah, I have nothing bad to say about this image. I love how, even though it's fun and crazy and colorful and weird, it really has a message that I can highly relate to. Really highly relate to. Now, as for quality, the only slight negative thing I have to say is that there were some pieces that were still stuck together. It wasn't that bad. At first glance, I thought there would be more than there actually were, and they were all really easy to pull apart. I didn't need to grab scissors or knife or anything to pull them apart. So yeah, really nothing that bothered me, and everything else about this quality were amazing. Lovely thick pieces. Loved the surface of the pieces, the fit of the pieces, the feel of the pieces when I put in a piece. Highly, highly recommend this puzzle. And the box, as I also mentioned, I really love this box. Now, I did do a bit of research, and when I say research, I mean just going in on their website and clicking in on one of the puzzles and reading what they said. But yeah, I did check what they mean by the environmentally friendly packaging, because I really wanted to know more about it. It's one of those things that are just easy to say without elaborating, but they do elaborate on the website. And on there they say that the box is made from 100% recycled paper. The puzzle pieces are made from 100% recycled paper. The colors used are water-based, and then of course there is the fair trade organic cotton bag. And then I had a thought about this give your packaging a second life message. So it could just be a, encouragement for us to recycle the packaging if we don't need it anymore. But I just had the thought, and I don't know if this is a conscious decision from them, but when the box itself is so plain, and the bag they use is also completely plain, it doesn't have their logo on it or anything. If you don't need the packaging anymore, if you perhaps framed the puzzle, this box and the bag would be really easy to use in your home for something else. I mean, when you take off this sleeve, there's no way to tell that this was once a puzzle box, and the same with the fabric bag. Yeah, really easy to use for something else, and I really do love that, whether it's intentional or not. Now, the next thing we have to talk about is the price. So they actually only have 1,000 piece puzzles. I do wish they had some 500 piece puzzles. I just, I enjoy 500 piece puzzles myself, and I also think that it would be great to have a bit more variation in what they offer. So perhaps there's also some people who do not enjoy 1,000 piece puzzles, who only want 500 piece puzzles, that could find something for them. Oh, one thing I also want to mention is that the 3 puzzles I have are all in portrait mode, and I've talked about a lot before that I really do prefer puzzles in landscape mode. But they do have a nice variation of puzzles in landscape and portrait mode. I just happened to fall for 3 puzzles in portrait mode, but they have some amazing ones in landscape mode. So there are some variation there. But I do wish that they had some 500 piece puzzles. Anyway, back to the price. So their puzzles costs 30.25 euros. And I think that that is a really nice price. It's not the cheapest puzzles out there, but it's definitely not the most expensive. And for what you're getting with the quality of the box and the quality of the pieces, and when you think about it being a small brand, I really think it's a nice price, and I highly recommend these puzzles. One thing they also have is a puzzle subscription. As far as I can see, they only offer it within Germany, which is a shame. I would really love to try it. But with the puzzle subscriptions, they cost 108.4 euros, and then that is for a year. So within a year, within 12 months, you get 4,000-piece puzzles. And what's almost the best thing about it is that you pay those 108.4 euros up front, and then it automatically ends within a year. So you're not going to risk them charging for another year. It's a one-time payment for a year, and then it ends automatically. I really love that. So with this subscription, you save a bit of money because, and the price is including shipping. So with that, you definitely save some money. And as far as I can see, it works. So when you order your subscription, they mention what puzzle you will get first, but then the next 3 puzzles, I think, are unreleased puzzles. So you don't know what it is, and you don't risk getting some you already have from the brand. So yeah, I would definitely love a subscription like that. It is also something that would be a perfect gift for someone, so they can enjoy it during a whole year. But yeah, again, I think you can only do that within Germany. I really hope they will expand it to other countries, but it might be quite expensive for them with shipping and everything. But yeah, anyway, I highly recommend this brand. I highly recommend these puzzles. They have some amazing images. I really love the whole, I don't know what you call it, philosophy behind the brand. They really want to say something while still creating some beautiful products. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like and consider subscribing. See you next time.